Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on The Flash Season 5. So every season we get a new version, or in some cases, versions of our good old mate Harrison Wells. Whether they are a version that we stick with for that season or longer, or in some cases they are just versions of the character that just show up for like 1 or 2 episodes. Like we saw with the Council of Wells, the Council of Harrisons, and then also that episode back in Season 3 when they had trials of sorts for Harrison Wells that was going to replace Harry when he was on his way back to Earth 2. But the versions of Harrison Wells that we have stuck with for a while for the past seasons have of course been Eva Wells or Wellsabard or Earbud Thorne pretending to be Harrison Wells. Then we had Harry Wells from Earth 2, then H.R. Wells from Earth 19, and then we hung out with Harry again last season. But this season we were promised a new Wells that we would get to know and be suspicious about once again, and that new Wells goes by the name of Sherlock Wells. But it is today where we actually get our first proper look at this new version of Wells through a picture posted on Instagram by Ralph Dibny himself, that being Hartley Sawyer. So here he is, Sherlock Wells in all of his glory. So you might be thinking to yourself at first, wow, he just looks like a normal Wells, nothing new here, Pagey, thanks for the clickbait. Which, yeah, he doesn't look that different because, well, it's still a version of Harrison Wells, it's still Tom Cavanagh. There was never going to be that drastic of a change. But there are some small things which I think that are, pretty neat, and they do seem like they will be unique to the character of Sherlock Wells from, well, some other Earth in the multiverse. The first is just his overall get-up and look. It is looking very like Robert Downey Jr. from the Sherlock Holmes movies. And just in general, Tom Cavanagh is giving off like a Robert Downey Jr. look, even with that facial hair and stuff like that. And it wouldn't surprise me if that is actually what they're going for with the character. And we will jump into, or more into, the actual characteristics of Sherlock Wells in a second. And there is also like a subtle addition to this Wells that could be, as I said, just subtle and mean nothing. Or this could be very much like HR's drumsticks in Season 3 where he's constantly using them and stuff like that. And that is that Sherlock seems to have a pocket watch. You can see it connected to him around like the middle of his vest. So obviously we will have to wait and see if that is actually relevant or just an accessory that they have attached to the character for the sake of it to give him more of a Sherlock Wellsy look, if that makes sense. But here is what Tom Cavanagh, who plays all the versions of Harrison Wells, had to say about this new version of Wells from the multiverse. And so this year, we've got a lot of things that we have to solve, and I thought it'd be nice to have a dynamic where we have someone that we don't necessarily know that we can trust, but is undeniably brilliant, which offers up its own things you have to contend with when you deal with somebody like that. Because much like the Thinker last year, they're a few steps ahead. So we'll see that very early on with this character. We've got some backstory set up, which I don't want to spoil for you, but I think that character is going to be fodder for comedy, but also for good storytelling, hopefully. So I'm looking forward to doing it. Now, as I said earlier on, this photo of Sherlock was posted by Hartley Sawyer, who plays Ralph Dibny. So I would like to think that on the show, in the early parts of the season at least, that possibly Sherlock Wells and Ralph Dibny are going around doing some detective work together because, well, as you should know, Ralph was a detective in the CCPD, and Sherlock Holmes, who Sherlock Wells is obviously based on, is one of the most famous detectives in the fictional world. So it just makes sense that these two would work together in order to solve various crimes going on that could be connected to possibly the big bad for the season, that being Cicada, and is their job to sort of connect the dots while Barry deals with the more, fantastical superhero stuff on the show. Now, elephant in the room. Usually it is Cisco and Wells that have this sort of relationship, but you would have to think that Cisco could be maybe more connected to Caitlin's story this season and sort of be like the side character with her in this season in regards to her story for at least the opening portion of this season. That's what I think at least. So allowing Ralph to be the BFF or best friend forever, if you want to get technical, of this new Wells would be something, new for the show. Now, I know episode 3 is called The Death of Vibe and stuff. I don't think Cisco's actually dead. I think it's almost like a borderline clickbait title for that episode. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Cisco, but I have a feeling he's going to be more connected to Caitlin's side of the story this season. And the last thing I wanted to talk about in today's video is actually an update on a previous video that I did. So we went over the casting breakdown for the villain of Ragdoll that would be appearing at some point this season. So firstly, we had it reported that episode 5 would in fact be entitled All Dolled Up, which would of course be the episode in which Ragdoll would appear. But now we actually have the actor who will be playing that character, and that honour belongs to Troy James. Now, the interesting thing about Troy is that he is actually best known for not another acting gig, but for his stint on America's Got Talent, where he did some interesting things with his body. Like, I can't put it in the video. I will link the video of his audition for America's Got Talent in the description down below, as I can't put his video in this video due to copyright reasons. It's seriously messed up. It's actually really creepy, especially when you think about them doing that type of stuff on the show and him possibly dressed up as a ragdoll, which I think is less likely, but they might do it if they want to. Like, seriously, what the hell? Now, they were actually trying to look for actors who were also, like, contortionists or just flexible in some way, shape, or form. And, yeah, I definitely think they found the guy. Anyway, this is the quick description for that character of Ragdoll, otherwise known as Peter Merkel. Peter is described as an incredibly emotional damaged criminal who has the power to bend out of shape and fit his whole body into small spaces. As he is enjoying his criminal activities, Team Flash will be challenged by the Ragdoll in shocking ways as his sick plan is revealed. But yeah, guys, that's all I've got for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. It would be awesome if you could do that. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on not only the Ragdoll casting, obviously, this last thing we talked about, obviously, the Sherlock Wells stuff as well. What are your opinions on him? Do you like the look of Sherlock Wells from that photo at least? Just leave all of your opinions in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.